Hey, what's going on? Thanks for joining me because you're just in time. I'm in the middle of upgrading my Tease guitars ST1, so it's more like David Gilmour's Blackie, but not exactly. I'll get into it because I had to do some of this work off camera. Specifically, some of the wiring has been changed. We'll get into that. I'll show it to you because I actually got to take the pick guard off to do the cosmetics and change the pick guard covers, which I had to modify, but again, I'll explain that when we get there. And well, just because I prefer them, I picked up a set of Tease guitars locking tuners. We're going to install those. I went looking for a shorty tremolo bar, and most of the ones that I found that were good were just for Strats, and that's not going to be an exact fit for this because this guitar was built under metric measurements, not imperial ones. And the other ones, they all look homemade, and I don't want that. So eventually I will be cutting this down a little bit so it looks more like what you find on Blackie. It won't be quite as short, but it's going to have the general look. And then I'm going to put this cap on it. But in order to do that, I got to get this off. In order to get this off, I got to soak it in acetone. Now, about that acetone, I didn't have any lying around the house with it being all hyper flammable and all. So you'd think I would have to go to the hardware store and end up paying too much to get a whole lot more than I actually would ever need. And you'd be wrong for thinking that because I went to the beauty supply store. Yeah, the beauty supply store, where I was able to get a small bottle of acetone as nail polish remover and pay $3. Right? When I got it home, all I had to do was take the bar, put it tip first into the bottle, and let it sit for about 24 hours. When I checked on it after a day, the plastic tip was totally disintegrated. And unfortunately, I didn't have the forethought to do any recording of all this, so sorry. But that puts us where we're at right now, with me cutting off about an inch of the tip of this original bar. After that, I'm grinding down the new tip, so that it will be tapered enough to allow the new plastic tip, the cream colored plastic tip, to slide on. Clean it off and we're good to go. Let's do the tuners. All right, let me set the cameras up for you guys and get started. For those who don't know, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take off these pieces on the top here. Now, sometimes these are actually a little loose. In this case, they are. So some of them are going to come off nice and easy. Others, not so much. For those, you would normally use an 11mm socket or ratchet wrench, ideally. It should be a deep socket if you use a socket. Sometimes, thanks to the vibration of the guitar from playing, these get loose and you don't even know it. So keep that in mind when you're doing a job like this. And remember that when you're playing, because eventually you will get some kind of buzzing from that. Washers are being a pain in the ass, so they're going to come off later. First, or I should say next. Oh, there they go. They all fell off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. There you go. Now we got to remove these 6 screws. Halfway done. All right, at this point, we got to start adding the cosmetics to the guitar because the David Gilmour's Blackie guitar doesn't look all black. It's got a lot of cream parts, and it actually has a switch added to it that, well, I opted not to use. I opted to use something else instead. A push-pull, because this is one of the few guitars that you can modify that actually will fit full-size push-pulls and full-size 5-way switches, the ones like Fender uses, right? So why not use that, right? So instead of putting an additional hole in the guitar so that I could add a switch, I just put that feature on the push-pull. And thankfully, I was able to find a wiring harness. It was already done like that on eBay. I'll put a link for that in the description. It seems to be a pretty decent harness. Let's take a look at it, and then we'll change the pickup covers. And there's a little compromise I had to make in that, but I'll explain more on that when we get to it. First, we got to take this pick guard off. Now, let's take a look at the switching. Let me see if I can move you guys a little closer. All right, so this harness actually comes with everything. It's a full-size 5-way switch, 3 full-size pots, proper orange cap, Gavit wiring, and a push-pull. The bottom tone control is a push-pull. And that's where the neck pickup is wired to. So now we got to install the hardware on this guy. On Blackie, there's cream hardware. Pickup covers, knobs, switch, all that is cream. So I went and picked up some cream hardware. I took the Dremel and modified this one. I did shoot some video of it. I'll show it to you here.
Okay, here's what we're up to. We're about to do a variation on the Gilmour mod on my Tease guitars ST1. But we have a problem. The cream pickup covers I got, well, one of them doesn't fit. So we're going to have to modify it to use it on the guitar until I can get another one. So we're going to have to modify it this way.
So now we're going to change the pickup covers. We first have to take the screws out. All right, so here she is in all of her unfinished glory. Let me know what you think about the way she looks and the way she sounds in the comments. And now, I know the hardware didn't all fit the way it was supposed to, which that was a disappointment. And then what you guys don't know is I ordered a replacement and that never showed up. And then there was a replacement for the replacement that was supposed to be sent overnight, and that still hasn't shown up. So I don't know when a pickup cover is going to get here, but when it does, I'll put up an update. I'll put together a short or something and put out a quick update for you guys, all right? In the meantime, personally speaking, the way this guitar sounds, I'm very happy. I'm very, very happy. As a matter of fact, I like the tones that come with this upgrade so much that it's almost like they should have been there in the first place. It's like they've been missing from the start, at least to me. Anyway, it adds a whole bunch of bottom end tones to the overall Strat style palette, and definitely, in my opinion, a couple of welcome additions. And it should probably be on all Strat style guitars. I mean, just for the versatility's sake. But that's just my opinion. Now, if you like what we do here, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, consider becoming a member, or using the super thanks button to leave a tip, or buy merch for RJ's Cave or Tease Guitars. Links for both, as well as discount codes for both, can be found in the description, as well as links and codes for Geico guitar parts and a 2-week free trial to Guitar Tricks. Using any one of these things really does help out RJ's Cave and is greatly appreciated. That's going to do it for this one. You guys have been awesome. Until the next one, take it easy.